to tonight's recap of The Bachelorette.
Alright, this was it. This was the episode we've all been dreading. So, it begins in New England.
Yep, they're in Connecticut.
And they're at the Mohegan Sun Casino. And it's Journey to Dirty.
This is the last week in America.
That's right.
For now, anyway.
Mohegan Sun, kids.
Yeah.
Gambling. Alright, 6 guys in a tub.
They're really digging their suite.
Yeah. It was coming off a little weird.
Yeah, so the first date of the week went to Dylan. It was a one-on-one, and the date card said, our relationship is picking up steam.
Steam train. Alright, so
they started off their date on a steam train, and it seemed cool. I like trains. That's fun.
He opened up right away. He was
not really.
Well,
you know, he really wanted to talk to her about his family history and stuff like that, but he eased into it by talking about his previous relationship.
His ex-girlfriend got engaged the day after his brother's funeral.
Yeah.
That's a little touchy for him.
Yeah. So then, I think she was hoping that he would talk more about his brother's death and stuff like that, but he kind of held back, and she was like, oh, well, I hope he talks at dinner.
So at dinner, he's all like, yeah, this is my backyard. Guess what? I lost my brother and sister to drug overdose. Mm-hmm. What a mess. I feel awful for him.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot.
That's really tough.
He had a single mom, too, didn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
So I feel so bad for him. She was all like, here's a pity rose.
That's not what she said.
But it's not a pity rose. She said it wasn't a pity rose, but
I don't think it was.
Okay.
You know, I have to say props to Andi for holding it together like she did, because she didn't cry really until like after, when she was talking about the date. Yeah. I would have been a disaster.
I feel so bad for him. Mm-hmm. He kind of reminds me from of Michael.
I don't see that.
In looks.
Looks for me, when he turns to the side, he looks like the guy from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which there will be a sequel of, BT Dubs.
Okay. Well, next stop, group date. Who's got game?
It's a basketball date. They go to this basketball arena that's in the hotel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So some WNBA players show up. Mm-hmm. And Andi's a bench warmer.
No, it looked like she was playing too. So
not very well.
The WNBA players and Andi were playing against the guys, and the guys were really sucking.
Well, every time she had the ball, it was like nobody went near her. She was just like...
Yeah, so then they were like, you're getting your A's kicked by these ladies, so we're going to have a competition between amongst
two of you
the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was like last minute. Winner gets a date with her. I think it was because they only had one good set of uniforms.
I did notice that, yeah.
One was the Rosebuds, and the other one was written on with Sharpie. And she signed it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that.
Alright, well, the losers are going to go back to the suite. So, these guys were serious.
They were.
They were pretty rough.
There were some competitive guys playing, yeah.
They were tied at halftime, however, with a score of 6-6. Is that the most pitiful?
Are you kidding me?
Is this second grade when you
I hope the half was like a minute long or less.
I don't know about that, but Brian just so happens to be a basketball coach.
This was his date.
He should have been kicking their A's, and it was 6-6.
Well, the second half came along, and his team, the Rosebuds, were kicking A's.
Yeah, but did they kick it by like 2 points? Because they said that the crappy team only scored like 1 point.
Yeah, but they said that the other team pummeled them.
Alright, well, he's a coach. He should have pummeled them.
Yeah, so his team, the Rosebuds, did end up winning.
AKA the real uniforms.
Which means last-minute uniforms had to go back to the suite.
Well, the winners were Cody, Brian, Andrew, Nick, Markel, and Eric.
Yeah, so they all moved on to the after party. They got to hang out with Andi for the rest of the night.
Eric was the first one to have one-on-one time at the after party, and she basically said, you know, this really isn't going anywhere. It's kind of stalling.
And he was like, yeah, I know.
You better tell me some stuff, otherwise say something, I'm giving up on you.
Yeah, they both agreed about it. He had the first date of the whole season, the first one-on-one.
Seems so promising.
Yeah, but then they kind of just...
He was like, all right, I'll throw you a little something. I used to be Mormon.
He opened up about his religion and his family, so that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like things were back on the right track.
It did, and I had a good feeling about the two of them. And then Brian and Andy went over to the basketball court.
He brought her back.
And he's like, check this out. I can make a half-court shot.
Yeah, so...
He swooshed it.
He was like, what happens if I make this shot?
And she's like, I don't know. Why don't you teach me some stuff? So he made the shot, and he totally blew it.
She was basically like, do me!
And he's, I'm blowing it. I'm sorry. And he kind of like slunk away.
He didn't kiss her.
All right, next stop, Nick. He immediately devoured her, made out. After all, she owes him. He was the one who sent the flowers. When you send somebody flowers, when you're one of these jokers, it means pay up.
All right, so the date rose went to Brian.
Okay, and Nick was pissed.
He was PO'd.
I sent those flowers. I devoured her. This is what I get. No rose.
All right. Well, the last date of the week was another one-on-one, and this one went to Marcus.
I really like Marcus, even though he's
cool.
Somewhat immature. All right. Date card set. Sky's the limit.
Why is he immature?
He seems... You know, I don't know.
Well, what's the perfect
vibe
date?
I'm getting off of him.
Perfect date for two people who are terrified of heights?
A building rappel.
Oh, okay.
Neither of them really wanted to do it.
No.
She was crying and so was he.
Yeah.
She was really unbearably whiny as well.
Yeah, he was... He was really encouraging. You could tell he was like crapping his pants, but at the same time he was like, it's gonna be okay. This is what you have to do.
I have to be a man. I have to hide my fear.
Yeah, so he kind of distracted her and was like, tell me about your mom.
You know,
she starts spouting out this crazy stuff like,
she's not very good at golf, but neither am I.
She likes mahjong. She plays it with her friends.
It was really, really weird.
It was funny though. I enjoyed that.
It was funny, that part. All right.
So that made her more comfortable, and she decided to pull him on over for a kiss.
Well, right after he said, "You look beautiful," and she was like, and then he's like, "Shall we kiss in front of the guys?" No, get away.
It turns out they were repelling right by their suite.
Yeah, she didn't want to.
Well, that would have been kind of mean.
Well, come on.
It would have been mean.
It's dinner time. He broke up with his ex-girlfriend and hadn't had a date. Not in a year. Not in 2 years. Can I hear 3?
You can hear it. You can go higher.
3.5 years without a date.
Are you sure it was without a date and not without a girlfriend?
Either way.
There's a bug. But anyway, he got the rose. She thinks he's a real catch.
You know, I don't think he's immature. I think he's kind of sad.
No. Well, the date wasn't over there. She took him to this John Party concert.
Okay.
Back at Mohegan Sun.
The weirdest part about these concert dates is that they make them dance like go-go dancers on these pedestals above the crowd. And it's like, people just looking up at them like...
Well, this one was a little different. A lot of times on this show, they have like... the performer, performer just for them. Yeah. But this one, it was like other people were there, but they were like up on this weird platform.
That's weird.
Well, he whispered to her.
You're on the right track, Bachelor, though.
He whispered to her that he's falling in love with her.
He thinks he's falling in love with her.
Did he say he thinks? I'm thinking he's turning into a little Ted Mosby here.
I don't know. It's a little scary.
It's a little soon, Marcus. A little soon. But anyway... After the date.
Back at her hotel room. Oh, thank you. Have a good evening, miss. Here's your love letter delivery.
Wasn't it Chris Harrison?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was.
Oh. I don't know.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, so she gets this mystery love letter. It's from a secret admirer, and
it was kind of sweet.
It was sweet.
I liked it.
But somebody's got to get credit for it. Yeah, so it's time for the cocktail party. Brian, he pulls her back to the basketball court again, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
That was the lamest move ever.
But then he was like, I know that I blew it the other day, so then he kisses her. It was kind of sweet.
Did you notice, though, when he kissed her, that she was kind of back like this? That's the telltale sign of, you're giving me too much. If she really wanted to kiss him, she would have done it and not let him blow it.
Well, she said that she appreciated that.
I don't think she did.
All right, Markel, during his one-on-one time, he taught her some self-defense moves.
She kind of put a sleeper move on him. I'm surprised he wasn't choking. All right, Eric, poor sweet Eric, turns the tables on her.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I feel sick right now, not physically, but emotionally.
Yeah, you're just like a TV actress.
He was like, I've been thinking about it.
He basically called her out.
He was like, I feel like I have been open, and you're the one that hasn't been.
And I have to agree.
I think so too, yeah.
I have to agree with him, and she was pissed.
Ooh, she did not want to hear that.
She is horrible at taking criticism. She does not work well with others in that respect.
No.
She went off on a freaking bleeding ass rant on him.
You could tell the second he said that, something snapped in her and she was just like, no.
I'm exhausted. I stay up late. I'm trying to be nice to everyone.
Yeah, so at that point, I think they both knew, and we all knew,
it's over.
This is not going any further.
So she basically said, get your A out.
Yeah.
And he did.
So then
the damage had been done.
She went and talked to the other guy. She was like, if you don't think this is real, then the door's right there.
She didn't talk to the other guy. She talked at them. And then when she realized what a raging lunatic she sounded like, she kind of backpedaled a little bit and was like, I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not much. Want to roll tape?
Yeah, so they ended up finishing the cocktail party and having the rose ceremony in real time. But because of what happened after the show, after Eric left, they were like, we're not showing the rest of this episode.
In case you've been under a rock, Eric left the show, went on his merry way, went back to his adventure lifestyle, and unfortunately ended up dying from a parasailing accident. Paragliding accident.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate.
It's very, very sad.
And they took this opportunity, instead of the rose ceremony, to have a little one-on-one interview with Chris Harrison. Her and Chris Harrison. Let's talk to Andy. And I was really kind of disappointed with the interview.
You know, I thought it was the right move on the show's part to not just go ahead and finish the show like they normally would.
Agreed.
But I don't know if this was the way to go. I don't know.
She seemed to be very guarded in her responses and not very open. It seemed like she avoided a lot of the questions that he was asking and gave these BS answers instead of actually saying what the truth was.
Yeah, I felt bad though because, like she said, it's tough to know that like you're never going to talk to this person again. They didn't really end on the most positive note.
No. She was all like, he was great, you know, I liked the relationship in the beginning, but it stalled. Chris Harrison said, would you change anything? And she was basically like non-committal on that one. She never really answered it. And she said it did change her, though. That I definitely agree with, because something like that, you've got to be a rock if that doesn't change your outlook. And she said it was like she lost a family member. Is that how you treat a family member, then?
Let's not, you know, she didn't know that this was going to happen.
All right, well, just in case anybody was interested, Tassos was cut this week.
Yeah, they did go ahead, like I said, and finish the cocktail party. They had the rose ceremony.
They didn't show his exit interview.
Was sent home.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tassos.
I know. He seemed like a nice guy, but not her standard, I suppose. Otherwise, she would have kept him. So we get a week off. In 2 weeks, they're going to Marseille, France, and there's gonna be mimes, unfortunately.
That's fun though.
It's kind of cool when they dress up with those striped shirts and everything, but I'm not a big fan of mimes.
And apparently Andrew makes some sort of offensive comment
To Markel.
Yeah.
That's gonna
not
suck.
cool.
No, I'm not looking forward to that because
Alright.
I don't like offensive things.
Well, let us know what you guys thought of the episode, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and until then, much love.
Edit.